Hey everyone, this is Gleb Bakhmutov. Imagine you have elements on the page and there is a parent element, in this case it's green, that has child elements. And right now you can see that both children elements are vertically aligned. They're in the center of a green parent element. We can change that, we can comment out the align item CSS style, and notice that now the child element is touching the top border, it's not vertically centered. How would you actually catch this situation in Cypress if you want to enforce the alignment of elements? Okay, let's do this. We can get the element, we can get the parent, for example, and what I will do, I will grab the element and then I'll take the bounding client rectangle, and from that I'll compute the vertical center. So the way you would do that in your browser console would be to get this element and called get bounding client rectangle, and this returns an object and it has x, y. We're interested only in the top number, that's the offset from the viewport, I believe, and the bottom. So the top is 134, the bottom is 184, right? So the height of the parent element is 50 pixels. So if you take the average, right, that will be the vertical center of the parent. If the child has the same vertical center, that means both the parent and the child are vertically aligned, and the child is in the middle vertically of the parent. So let's do this right here. So we get the parent element, then we get a jQuery object, and we can say from the first element get bounding client rectangle method call, and this gives you an object, and then from this rectangle just take top plus bottom and divide it by 2. So that's the center. So this is parent center. Okay, and then we can do the same thing for the child element. And if those numbers are the same, then we know that the elements are vertical aligned. So let's repeat this. And of course, we can simplify it by extracting the common utilities. See the full example recipe that I'll link in the description of this video. But for now, let's just say child1, and we get a number, and that should, and at this time we can try using equals, but I don't think it will work. And it's not working because notice the difference is 10 pixels. So that's correct. If we comment out the misalignment, and now the elements are aligned, but notice what happens to the floating point computation right here. It matches within 4 digits after the dot. So to the human eye, it's the same. So instead of using should equal, we can use should be close to and give a tolerance. So I would say 100 of a pixel match is close enough. Okay, so now both elements are vertical aligned, we confirmed it. If you're using my Cypress map plugin like Cypress example site does, then you can simplify this code a little bit. For example, right here you're calling getBounding client rect method on the first element in the jQuery. Cypress map provides invoke first, and then you just pass the method name, and this calls it on the first element of the current subject. We can maybe refactor this utility function to, let's say, get center, right? And get center. And moreover, instead of using setThen that only runs once and breaks the durability, we can say apply, which comes from Cypress map. And why is this necessary? Well, what can happen is the alignment might happen after some time. So what I will do right here, I'll add application JavaScript, and I will set timeout to 1 second, and I'll say document get element by ID, and I'll take the child element and I'll take its style, and I'll say align item center. So notice initially it's misaligned. Actually, it's not with child, it should be parent because that's a flex. Okay, so 1 second and then it gets aligned. So notice that our chain of queries retries. So let me run it again and notice 1 second and then it gets aligned, because right here these are all queries, and if assertion fails, then it goes and gets the element again, invokes the first method getBoundingClientRect, passes it through getCenter function, and then calls the assertion again. We can simplify it even more using Cypress Map. Right now we're getting just the first center value and then assume that the child center value changes. But maybe both change. So what we can do instead, we can write a retriable query chain using Cypress Map. So we can use scigetinorder and pass both selectors. So the first element is parent, the second one is child1. So this returns 2 elements. And instead of invoke first, we can say map invoke. So we map over each element in the jQuery, and we call getBoundingClientRectangle on both. And what I will do next, I'll just print the values. Okay, so I'm gonna remove this. Let's see if this works. Just approximately notice these are the 2 rectangles we got. Okay, so instead of apply center, because we have now an array of values, we can say map. So take all the bounding client rectangles, which should be 2, pass them through getCenter. So that yields 2 numbers. So we can say print, and then we can use should assertion. And so right now we're getting the current subject, which is an array. So we can say, y1, y2, and we expect y1, so center, to be close to y2 with a tolerance of 100 of the pixel. Okay, let's see if this works. Okay, let me maximize it and notice that the values change right here. So we computed both centers and we're printing them, and when we're comparing if they're close enough. And if they're not, we go back and fetch parent and child element, mapping, printing, passing to the assertion. So all I'm trying to say is that you can use end-to-end tests to verify properties of a layout, like vertical center. And you can simplify the code using Cypress Map plugin queries. I'm gonna link this recipe and Cypress Map plugin in the description of this video.